Hey guys, so this is a video regarding body confidence. Um, this is a sort of topic that comes from the heart, I guess, just because I've dealt with a bad case of having a bad body image and a bad thought process, I suppose. And I just wanted to share how I sort of changed the way I think and yeah, and how that kind of helped me, I guess. And I want to share that because I've spoke to people before about body confidence and genuinely made people feel better about themselves. However, that was in message, and that's a bit easier because you can sort of think about what you're saying and how you're going to say them. Whereas right now, I'm sort of just filming on the go. So yeah, you're gonna have to bear with me, I'm afraid. So I will try and think about what I'm going to say. I don't want it to be all mumbly jumbly and all over the place, but I'll try. So a few years ago, I was in a bit of a depressive pit. Um, it honestly, it was all down to loneliness, 100%. Just eventually, you start living in a rut, and there's no change, there's no excitement, and you're working every day for nothing, and you start to lose motivation, and it gets you down in the dumps. And what happened was, I started to question why I was lonely, why I didn't have friends, and you know, it was weird. I started to blame that on my appearance, which sounds strange, but at the time, my thought process was kind of like, well, if people found me attractive, I wouldn't have an issue, you know? People would reply to my messages because they would be like, "Whoa, there's an attractive dude in my inbox." Like, admit it. Like, come on, if you're a guy and you're watching this and you get an attractive female or another attractive dude in your inbox, you are like, "Damn, I'm gonna reply to them," of course. But that was the way my mindset was. And it's not true. Like, people would just speak like regardless of your appearance. Obviously you do get people that will only speak to you if you're good looking, but they're the kind of people you don't want anyway. So fuck them. So anyway, that was my thought process, and I blamed my appearance on a lot of stuff, and it was just obviously it led to the typical behavior of comparing myself to others and picking out my insecurities, and I was trying to change the way I was. I started working out and stuff, and it didn't last long because it's not something I want to do. But I was trying to change and just trying to become something I wasn't, I guess. So, first things first, when I think of body confidence, I think of a few things. So, there's body image, like your self-esteem. There is acceptance, which is important. Understanding, which is important. Understanding and acceptance sort of roll together. Um, and then there's uh no, maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. So what happened was I was beating myself up for so long, I got tired of it. And I had to do something about it. Now, people can't fix this for us. Um, how many times has somebody complimented us when it should matter the most because it's come from a loved one, a friend, or a family member, whatever it may be. And we appreciate it. Of course we do. It's nice to hear, but at the same time, it's kind of like, you have to say that. You know what I mean? So when you're in that mindset, when a stranger compliments you, it has a much bigger impact. It's not that you prefer to be complimented by strangers, obviously, but it's kind of just like they went out of their way. They didn't have to say that. They don't know you, you know what I mean? Whereas, you can't compliment yourself and you can't always get strangers to compliment you, so you kind of just had to you kind of just took it but didn't really, you know, agree with it, I guess. So, yeah. What happened was after beating myself up for so long, I finally chose to do something about it. And I started taking pictures of myself. I would prop my phone up, put a timer on, and I would wear things that I wanted to look good in and what I wanted to feel good in. So I was wearing like formal attire really. I was wearing my suits, shirts and jeans and, just smart stuff really. And this helps a lot. When you have your phone propped up or your camera, whatever it is you're using, you can then pose. And posing is important, 100%. Mannequins, for example, mannequins can look good in really simple outfits, just t-shirts and jeans or a basic dress. They look good. And even if you had a similar figure to a mannequin, you can then look in a mirror and not like it. And simply because you're not posing it, like that's just how it is. Like it's not what you wear, it's how you wear it, honestly. And so yeah, I was posing away and I was getting these pictures, and what's important is keeping your head cool and having fun with it. Mainly because when you take pictures, you will take bad photos. You will. I do a bit of photography. I can take over 200 photos when I'm shooting somebody, and I will take bad photos, and it's not my fault. It's not the model's fault. It honestly just happens. I also do a bit of modeling, which might look, you might not believe it looking at me, but I will, edit a photo in so you can see. So yeah, I do a bit of modeling. And those photographers get bad photos. Again, it's not their fault, it's not my fault, it just happens. So when you're doing this and you take a picture of yourself, you've got to try to not blame yourself and try to not to get angry. You've got to just make it fun, put on some music, dance around a little bit, just have fun, get into it. And you will feel weird doing this, especially if it's your first time. But you've got to remember, like, who's gonna see but you? What does it matter? Just have fun. Step out your comfort zone a little. So I'm not saying to do this, by the way. I'm just saying what helped me, so it could help you. So I was taking pictures, and eventually I reached a standstill because I was kind of like, okay, when you get your good images, you get your good images, and you feel bloody great. Um, I was then kind of like, it's just because I'm in a suit though. Like it's just because I'm dressed up. It's just because, just making excuses. So I did the next thing. It probably was a bit of a big leap, but I started taking nudes. And not that I'm saying do this. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying what I was doing. So I started taking nudes. And this helped me a lot more than I thought it would. And this is where acceptance rolls in. So when I was obviously taking nudes, you could see my whole body. You could see all what I would consider as a flaw. You could see all my insecurities and what I didn't like. It was all open. But when I got a good photo, it was kind of like none of that mattered. Like you could see it, but it's kind of like the thought of just, it looks good though, like kind of just takes over. But yeah. So when you get a good photo, it's great. And when I got a good photo taken nude, it was like, whoa. And so yeah, I'd prop my phone up, use a timer, and I'd edit pictures. Now, editing pictures is not catfishing. I didn't change who I was. I didn't change the shape or size of anything. I didn't, it's kind of like putting icing on your cake. It's kind of like waxing your car. You're not changing the badges. You're just making it look its best. You know, um, Same with icing on a cake. You just adding that bit of flavor. It's nice. So yeah, absolutely. Editing is important. I mean, you don't have to, but it does make photos better if you know what you're doing. So yeah. And then what happened was when I was taking these photos, I built up so many. I started to post them. This I probably don't recommend because I grew a mindset where once I started accepting myself, I'll go through acceptance and understanding in a minute. But once I did start accepting myself, I also grew this like don't give a shit attitude. So I was posting them and I just couldn't care what people thought. I'm just gonna do me. So about acceptance and understanding, we all everybody we all point at our bodies and wish we had something different. Or we would all change something. But what's different is the way it impacts us. Some people just wish they had something and just get on by the day, and some people wish they didn't have something and just, really affects them. So we all do it, it just affects us differently. And this is about understanding and acceptance. So you have to understand that everybody does this. If you were to see a woman or a man walking down the street and thought, damn, he or she is a 12 out of 10, perfection. And if you were to ask them yourself, is there anything you would change about your appearance? I can guarantee they will point out things that don't really matter. Like you don't see them as an issue, but they do. And that's simply because they live with it. They've got that one body for the rest of their lives and they want it to be perfect. But we are all imperfectly perfect because even if you had a wish and you then wished for the body you had ever dreamed of, give it a few years, give it a few weeks, whatever it may be, you'll want to change things again because we may never be 100% satisfied. I don't know, it's kind of like The Sims, I guess. We can customize a character in depth, and we'll always change them because things are never perfect, and that's where acceptance rolls in. So once we sort of agree that everybody does this and everybody feels like they have insecurities, it's then acceptance. And that's all about having the mindset of I am me. And if you don't like it, that's your problem. Because no matter how you look, what you do, or how you do it, someone's always got a problem. And there is always an asshole that's going to make a negative comment on it, unfortunately. Even Beyonce probably gets shit by the way she looks or dresses. It happens. Um, so it's all about doing what you want because you can't impress everyone. Um, you just can't. And so do what you want. Now, when it comes to obviously understanding insecurities and flaws and stuff, and remembering that everyone has them, you'll also know that you tend to appreciate them on other people. They become like key points, I guess. So, for example, if you yourself have stretch marks, you may see that as a flaw, you may not like them. If you have a goofy laugh, that may make you insecure and you might hate laughing in public. I don't know, just things like that. But then, if you are in a relationship and that person has stretch marks, that person has that goofy laugh, and they see them as insecurities, you would appreciate them. Like if they were to go away for a while and you were to miss them, you know, you would miss, of course you would miss everything, but one of the most things you'd miss is kissing those stretch marks, for example, showing them that you can see them and they're absolutely nothing to worry about, making them feel beautiful, that, you know, that you accept them with them and that it's a whole part of them. And same as the goofy laugh, like you may purposely make them laugh just for them to laugh and you laugh at them and it becomes something that it's like an inside joke, you both sort of laugh and appreciate it because it's a part of them. So yeah, I don't really know where I was going with that, but I hope you know what I mean. So once you've sort of understood that everyone has these insecurities and flaws and you sort of grow this attitude where, I am me, you start doing what you want. And this is where confidence comes into play. Now, a lot of people, I see this everywhere, a lot of people seem to take confidence as it comes in time. Confidence doesn't come in time, it comes with action. So, For example, this works with anything, big or small. It could be as small as riding a bike, could be as big as going skydiving. Now, if you've ridden a bike and you can ride a bike, you probably learnt the same way I did. Somebody held onto the bike, you were going, and eventually they let go and you don't know. Yeah, so and that's how I learned. And this is important because it's like the hurdle theory that I say. Confidence is a hurdle. And sometimes, even if you're doing something you've already done before, that hurdle is there. So, for example, when I go on a night out, I might go on karaoke. Every time I go up for the first time, I'm nervous. I'm shaking. I'm scared. I'm not confident, but I get it done and I just do it. So, that first hurdle is always scary. Now, you can wait and wait and wait and wait and that, to be confident to jump it, and that day may never come. But if you just suck it up and jump it, and you make that jump, I'm not saying there's a chance you won't. I'm just saying you make that jump, then you know you can jump the rest. And it makes you feel much more confident about doing the rest. When I go in karaoke, I'm always scared to do the first song. Even if I was to go on a night out every week, I'm always scared to do the first song. But once I've done the first song, I'm up it again, and I'll probably be up again. And I'll probably be up more because every song you do, you get free shots. So I'd probably be up even more. Yeah. So, and again, like I said, that works with something big. If you were to go skydiving, you might hold off for so long and eventually you just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it because I've waited so long. And then that day comes, you're you're shaking again, you're nervous, you jump in that plane or whatever, and you're in the air and you do the jump anyway because one, it's too late to turn back now, and two, you've waited for nothing if otherwise. So you do the jump and and if you enjoyed the experience, you sort of say to yourself, "Oh, wish I'd done that sooner." You know, I want to do that again. Obviously, if you enjoyed it, if you didn't enjoy it, then at least you've done something you wanted to try. So and that's goes with confidence because a lot of people don't tend to have any issues with their body image. They tend to like the way they look, but they're scared to do something because of judgment. Whether it's dress a certain way or post a certain picture or get into certain roles. But it's about just doing what you want. You can't impress everybody. You can't be everyone's cup of tea. You know, even like I said, even like Beyonce, who won't impress everybody. Um, you can't impress everyone. So just be you. And the best part about that is if you be you and you do impress somebody, then they're impressed by you. Do you know what I mean? It's not like if you live this life where you're in a shell and not doing things you want to do, and then you meet somebody, you get comfortable, and then you start coming out of your shell, that person might then think, oh, you're too much. Not to put a downer on things, I'm just saying like you may then become something they weren't expecting. Whereas if you just be you, people that you're friends with and people that you become friends with appreciate you because you are being you. You're just doing things that you want to do, not really caring what people think. Because, like I said, you can't impress everyone. And if anyone has an issue with it, that's their issue. Who cares? Like, you do you. And, if somebody gives you shit for it, that's not your fault, it's theirs. And if somebody openly gives you shit, whether it's publicly or, verbal, like in person, they're not people you want to be around with anyway. So their opinion doesn't really matter. If they're not going to be supportive, then fuck them. So be you, dress the way you want. And if you're too nervous or you feel like, you can't pull it off, like I said, take photos, appreciate yourself. It's gonna feel awkward at first. It is. But have fun with it. Play music, get into it. Nobody can see but you, and just enjoy yourself. Nobody's gonna see. So, and if you end up doing what I did and post and stuff, you'll probably realize that a lot of people have your back. If you were to post something that's a little bit sensitive or a little bit out of your comfort zone and someone does give you shit for it, you'll probably find that a lot of people will comment back at that person like, what the fuck are you doing? And if it's over social media and stuff, just block them and move on. Like I said, that their opinion really doesn't matter. So yeah, I don't really know where I'm going with this, but I hope it helps. Just be you. Do whatever you want. Take pictures is an absolute must because, like I said, nobody can see but you. And if you get a good photo, it bloody changes things. Um, yeah, and understand everybody has these flaws. None of us are perfect. You've got one body, you've got one face, you've got one look. Own it. Why hate it? Own it. Peace.